Love Outside of the Box is a documentary explaining what one will experience while on their own divine path on a body, mind, and soul level. Many beautiful souls have come together in unity to share their unique personal experiences so that you can see that you truly are not alone during these very pivotal and historical times here on Gaia. Your sacred journey back to one is just that. It's sacred. It's a journey that each and every person on this planet will experience, however, all in their own divine timing. Many souls are also in divine union, or as many refer to it as twin flames or twin souls. Regardless if you are a twin or not, you are an extremely powerful soul, and you are here to truly experience all that life has to offer. Love that is so pure and natural. Love that is simple, yet so refreshing and new. This is what we call love outside of the box.
And may love return to earth, into the hearts of all. And may love return to earth. Home now. From the center where the will of God is known, and may purpose guide the wills of all, and which masters no one serves.
Hi, how is everyone? I hope you can all hear me. I think the sound levels are okay. So here we are, November the 11th. It's 11 o'clock here in Europe, in Central Europe anyway. It's a day to remember here for most of us here in Europe, Armistice Day, so we should pay special tribute to those that fell during the many battles of this planet to give us our freedom. It's Armistice Day, a day of remembrance. The First World War ended on November the 11th at 11:11 a.m. London time. So we give thanks to those that fell for giving us our freedom. So how are you guys coping with the energies? I hope you had a really good day. The energies are really like a roller coaster the last few days. I'm sure many of you have been feeling it. Feel free to ask your questions. You've got a little icon on the left-hand side which says, if I'm looking, ask a question. So that sends a little message to me to deal with your questions, if any of you have them. I hope those of you that have watched the documentary or have had a chance to watch the documentary have enjoyed it. I've had some very positive feedback, so I thank you for that. So, keeping your sanity during this gateway, keeping your sanity over the next couple of weeks is going to be a pure test of your, let's say, training, the things that you've prepared for. And I think one of the most important things that I've been learning over the past few weeks is actually pushing the ego away. Mentally focusing on pushing the ego away. When the monkeys come out, instead of throwing them bananas and telling them to go to eat, it's literally visualizing, forcing it out of the body. And it seems to work fairly quickly, within 2 to 3 minutes. So it does take some practice, it does take some willpower, stamina. I think I've said a lot of these words in the documentary. This is, I suppose, the energies over the past few days, for me particularly, and many others that I speak to, have been what feels like the highest and the lowest, and as the highs get higher, the lows get lower. And these gaps are now becoming less and less. So we're becoming more and more in balance as we're practicing these new templates. And I think one of the hardest things for somebody of my age, like 45 to 55 and maybe older, those that have lived a very active life, is breaking all of these templates, breaking everything that we've learned, especially from society, especially from the school system, the education system, from our peers, from our families, and from history. And this lineage, we can call it lineage because it's part of us. It's everything that we've ever done takes us to who we are today. And breaking those patterns and breaking that programming is very, very difficult. And it's a challenge for me that studies psychology and understands psychology and spent a lot of time with psychology. It's the reprogramming. And you do find yourself in new situations, new positions, and you may have been in a similar situation, but how you act or respond is completely new because your old knowledge is gone because you've processed it, you've cleansed it. So you literally are making new programs for yourself to serve yourself better and to serve your journey better. And you may skip back to some of the things that you've known, but your psyche is actually instructing you to make something new. And this is really cool because you get into situations that you know you've been here before, but you don't know what to do. So you're actually not fumbling in the dark, but you're making something fresh. And this is the exciting part of this journey, is now we are at the phase, I believe, where we are now literally standing up. We're no longer part of support mechanisms, we're no longer part of groups, because we're now strong enough to stand and move forward. Some of us may be a little bit lower, still sitting, but most of us that I see nowadays, these last few days certainly, they're standing up. They're making decisions, they're making assertions, and they're moving forward. And people ask me a lot of questions about, so what's happening in the world? What's happening with the community? What's happening with twins? What's happening with soulmates? What's happening with the divine union? Believe me, I see miracles every day. I hear miracles every day. And, even I'm envious sometimes of what's happening to people that I'm talking to, because it's incredible. And news after news after news. So these wonderful things that the universe promises are being delivered. And I don't believe it's if you're the goodest or the best, or you're praying every day or meditating every day, these rewards, the more in tune you are with the universe, the rewards come. It's, we could say, a pecking order. Those that need to have this to be in the right place at the right time are actually being given wonderful tools to use, being given wonderful gifts, and are now able to see clearly their futures, because what they've been manifesting over months or years is now coming into fruition. And this is beautiful. This is beautiful for Gaia, this is beautiful for the world at large, and this is beautiful for the twin community or our soul family, because I believe everyone that's here is part of our soul family, my soul family. So just have the belief that these wonderful things are happening. And I do speak to a lot of people and I have a lot of people in my network, and I get all of this wonderful news. It's like a ticker, the old ticker tape coming in off the stock exchange. The ticker tape is running. Okay, so in South America we've got this today, in North America we've got this, in Europe we've got this. So it is happening. And I'm sure that it's happening in your life in one way, shape or form, that these wonderful things are happening. Maybe subtle changes, or there may be big changes. But most of this journey is about you claiming your life and making your decisions based upon your thought process, and really based upon what you would really like. What do you really want to achieve in this lifetime for you? And I keep harping on about psychology and going back to zero and starting life again. It's okay for me to say this, but I know it's very difficult for most of you guys out there to be in that position. And I'm not saying that you should, but what I do say is take an inventory. Take an inventory of where you would like to go. Who would you like to be with you, alongside you, and in your life? And go from there. Start making positive decisions, not based upon what your mother says or your uncle or your auntie or what the Bible says. Make a decision for you. Because when you start to claim yourself and your life, you really are standing in your own light. You're standing in your own power. And when you have that power, your energy field just expands. I'm going to make this full screen, I think. Make it easier for you guys to see. I'm big screen now. Now you can see the bags under my eyes because it's leg hair. So yes, it's about claiming your life for you, and moving forward slowly but surely, not living in fear, not worrying about what's going to happen. If you worry about these things, nothing's ever going to change because you're in this vicious circle, the circle of life. When we break a cycle or break a circle, it falls flat. And we're going to follow that. And we're going to go through this with all of our strength, with all of our might, and without fear of any repercussion. Because it's your decision. It's your responsibility. So that's what I have to say about that. It is time to stand up into your light and to start talking about what you really want to achieve going forward. The energies are supporting our growth, our development. The planetary alignments are in phenomenal situations. Some things haven't happened in 28 years. Some things haven't happened ever at all. And these are all happening now, particularly on this new moon. This is a very powerful new moon for us as twins, or those on a divine path, to ascend higher. And this is what I feel is happening. This is what I sense is happening, is that we are ascending. I know that my ears are ringing like crazy the last few days, and the frequency is getting higher. And these are other indications that we are ascending, and you know, I don't see any travesty around me. I don't see any bad around me. I only see positivity. I only see positive people. If I interact with somebody negative, I push it away. I'm not interested, because we don't need to bombard ourselves anymore with negativity. There's no place for negativity on this path. If you have something in our life that is, we should deal with it. Close it, end it, without any time wasting. Because when you dilly-daddle, time waste, procrastinate, you become stagnant. And you only really want to be surrounded with this positivity, with positive energy going forward. And as your energy field expands, as I said in the documentary, you become a magnet to attract other people of likeness. You will interact with different people. Your social groups will become smaller, but far more beneficial. And you'll find yourself helping more and more people also. I'm spending a lot of time helping people, and a lot of people are helping me and have helped me. And I'll touch a little bit on my journey because I think it's important to share it, but I'll keep it fairly short. As you probably know, somebody's on Skype with me, sorry, they're trying to get into the webinar. As you know, I've been to Russia. I've been to Russia twice to meet with my beloved, and things are progressing in a positive way. We're friends again, we're talking again, we're communicating, and we're helping each other, and we are co-creating. She did one of the voices on the documentary, and we have co-created in the past with respect to translations that she's done. We will continue to help each other on a path, and we will become friends. And one thing that I do realize, that there is no room for romantic love in this soul connection. And I don't think there's any room for romantic love in any soul connection. It's a far deeper understanding. We have to be friends. We have to have a strong foundation. And for those that have come together before and are in separation, like myself, what knowledge we have today is far more valuable than what we had previously. And we are able to build these strong foundations, because without foundations we have really just the same old garbage that we had before. So I do think that it's important that all of the trusts are built. The synergies, the compatibilities, to acknowledge the changes also are important. And when somebody says to me, Dean, you've changed, and you're welcome here anytime, and we're happy to see you. If I look at this, what happened last August, this is just a 360, a 180, but it's a 360. And I'm going full circle in many things that I've enjoyed with my twin. Things are going full circle. And I believe in December or January we will meet again in a place where we live together. So that again is a full circle. So it's I also know other twins that are in very similar situations to me. They're connecting, they're communicating, and they're building this very, very important foundation. And my situation is quite unique because well, not unique. I have 22 years age difference between us. So there are all these factors to also consider. But it doesn't change what I feel when I hear the words. It doesn't change what I believe. And as long as you still believe and you hold a place in your heart and in your life for your twin, your divine partner, you continue to live your life. You continue to live a full life, knowing that you have this place preserved, or whatever terminology you want to use, held for them. You continue on your path. And if you really want or desire to be in a relationship, a soulmate will come to you. A soulmate will be presented to you, and you will be given the opportunity to have this, let's say, romantic love, this opportunity to enjoy your life to the fullest with another person. But your soul will tell you, your soul will know whether it's temptation or whether it's your pathway. So it's important that you listen to your soul, your heart and soul. Your mind is a bit loopy because it's going through all of these transformations, so your mind is a little bit skew-with. So it's important that you follow what your heart and soul says. Because as you're writing this new psyche, this new empty spaces in your mind, you're laying this foundation going forward, and you are having these new values, and you're having these new principles, and this new understanding of what love really is. And love isn't about attachment, really. I used to think it was, years ago. Not so many years ago, probably until last year. But it's all new. And I realized that it is unconditional love, and I do appreciate what unconditional love means. We accept that person, irrespective of what they're doing in their lives, how they've affected our lives, or how they impact upon our lives. We love them unconditionally. And that means you're holding a space in your heart and in your life with them. And if they present themselves in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, or 6 months' time, and you're in a situation that you're living your life and you're happy, you may find yourself not wanting to be with this person. And this is I suppose the reality of this 3D world that we live in. We can be thinking with a 5D conscious mind and following our heart and soul. And we are human beings. And human beings are on this planet to experience everything that a human being should experience. And we know exactly what that human being needs, wants and desires. And we are allowed to, we're permitted to, as long as it feels right here. If it doesn't feel right, then you don't do it. You carry on living your life with, celibacy is sometimes good. I know some people that have been celibate for 7, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. It's good for some of us, not for all of us. No, jokes aside. Come on guys, ask me some questions, please. I'm sitting here talking. I've been talking for hours and hours and hours all day, every day. So send me some questions, please. The icons on the left, it says ask a question. Because I can't sustain this without any questions. I can sit here and talk blah blah blah, but you just heard 2 hours of me on a documentary, so I'm trying to keep it humorous. The journey back to one is incredible. You guys know that. It's a wonderful thing. You may not feel like it every day. Your ego comes out to play and you push it away and you get on with life. And this is the daily battle that you have. When you're living here and now, you should be content with what you have. Because as I said in the documentary, you could be dead in 5 seconds time. A lightning bolt could come down and strike me now and I could be gone. And would I be happy? Yes. Would you be happy? You should say yes. So it's about, oh, we've got a question coming in. Cool, I love it. Oh, let's see what this one says. How do I handle the time of anxiety during separation? Cool. How do you handle the anxiety? The anxiety is the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of not being complete in where you are. I'm going to publish it in there. Anxiety comes from psyche. Anxiety comes from psyche. Now here the question's coming now, see? Hi Diana. Anxiety is psychology. So we look at why are we feeling anxious. I felt anxious yesterday because I was waiting for an email from someone that didn't materialize. And I had to push those thoughts out. And that is a physical thing that you want to do. Literally, you should sit, maybe listen to a heart chakra meditation for 5 minutes. There's some good 5-minute ones on YouTube. Clear your mind. Feel your heart beating, and your heart chakra activating or opening up. And when you finish this, and if the anxiety is still there, you physically, in your mind, you begin to push it out, and you can actually visualize that you're pushing it out like this. You're asking it to leave your body, because where we want our ego is outside. We want it up here, not in here. So literally, you're pushing it out, and you can visualize that. And this is what I practice. I'm getting good at it now. So you can make it a physical exercise. If that helps you, Maria. Thank you, Tracy. Okay, will everybody find their twin flame at some point? Will everyone find their twin flame at some point on their evolution of souls? I believe those that are twin souls are being called. If we look at the younger generation, and one of the good things about this journey that I've recently noticed is there are a tremendous amount of young people in their early 20s waking. It's quite scary, really, because they are so powerful. They've got so much in here. It's unbelievable. Oh, Skype is calling me again. and I'm still alive. Somebody says, yes, I'm still alive. The young people that are waking, they're so powerful. They've got this amazing innate knowledge and this wisdom. And I hooked up with one guy who's 22. He's living in the States. And sorry, I'm multitasking. You know, men can't do multitask. I'm trying my best. 22 years old, and he told me his life story. I don't know this guy from a bar of soap. We hooked up on Facebook, as we do, and he starts to tell me his life story, and I'm listening, I'm watching his life story before me. Drug trafficker, murderer, manslaughter charges, brought up in a broken home. But since the age of 2, he has a photographic memory. He remembers every single detail of his life. And he's now dreaming. And he's dreaming of a beautiful woman that he hasn't met. So this will deal with your question, Diana. And he's having visions like astral traveling and dream projection of this beautiful woman. His wake-up call was last July when he was 21. His mother was unfortunately murdered. And since then, he's been on a trail of destruction himself. And about 10 days ago, this young woman came into his dream and appeared. And the next morning he wanted to jump off a bridge. And his mother appeared next to him as he was on the bridge. And she told him to stop and told him to follow his dreams. And that was his wake-up moment. And in the last 10 days, he has just gone vroom, because he realizes now what he is, who he is, and that he has a higher purpose. The guy's never been in prison. He's on a lot of hated lists because he's managed to beat his raps or whatever, by whatever fluke, by whatever divine intervention. But he's a very, very special person, and he will find his twin because she's calling him. And twins that are calling, I mean, my twin is calling me, whether she knows it or not. It's like a magnet. And I think most of you know that they're magnets. And they're calling us in whichever way, shape or form, whether it's in 3D or whether it's in 5D and beyond. They're calling us. And they're calling us with a vengeance. And sometimes there's a pain in the backside. Chills all over. There you go. So what's happening is there are a lot of young people waking, and these guys need help, and they're running into groups that are just talking nonsense, and they're being preached is the right word. They're being lectured by people that don't understand the journey or the waking up journey. And I think this is mostly our role as you know, twins are our teachers, and twins are there to help and guide those lost souls that need it. And this is what I do. This is why I've dedicated a lot of my time to helping those souls that need this help. If you're not celibate, will it interfere with reuniting with your twin? Oh, Teresa. Well, you know what Carrie says about that, Teresa? It's at the end of the day, personally, I've been celibate, so I can say that hand on my heart. And I do believe that if I got into the situation where there was potential intimacy, I don't think I would be able to manage it. Because the feeling is that deep. I've tried to hook up with other women, and the meetings never happen. So I've got a lot of pressure on me, particularly here because it's a small place. but I can travel anywhere that I want to. And I've even tried to travel and unfortunately had a car accident to stop me getting to the place where I was going. So I view these as signs that I'm not meant to go anywhere else. You're always guided by your soul, Teresa, and you're always guided by what you feel inside. And I think your case is a little bit unique because of your situation. And you just really need to follow your heart and soul on that one. I hope that covers that one, Teresa. Feel free to ask another question if you want to, or to follow up on that. The documentary, you should watch it, Tracy. It's great. It's 2 hours of blah blah blah, but it's real. It's raw. It's made on this laptop where I'm talking to you from now, with contributions from many other people. And it's just not my story. It's several other people's story and several other people's point of view, which is good. That's cool. Isabel, if they are a twin, they will have this calling to discover. You know, if I'm honest, I knew that I was looking for, and I'm being honest now, and it's just come back to me, and I think I need to because it's recalled to me now. I remember when I was 25, 26, I was working on yachts, delivering yachts around the world. So I was living, let's say, high life, but not a high life. I was paid well, working long hours, but working on private yachts, on rich man's yachts. And I was working in Palma de Mallorca, which is a Spanish island, in a shipyard, working on a yacht. And I used to frequent a bar, which was an English bar, because there's lots of English guys living in Palma de Mallorca. And I fell in love with the barmaid. And the description of her, everything about her was, this is the one, this is the one. And after many weeks of trying to encourage her that we should go for dinner or something like this, she just pushed me away. I went to Australia on a yacht, got to Australia, and I had to go back because my soul was calling me to go back. I went back, saw her again, and saw her son, and realized that this was not the right person. And I can say today that that woman and that child look exactly the same as my twin and her child. The same height, the same body proportions, the same description. And it's obvious to me that my soul recognized this person. Then, 25 years ago, my soul recognized what I was seeking, and I found it 20 years later in Moscow, of all places. And both times I was chucked into very strange situations, and the Moscow one was the strangest. But you know, these two women are spitting images. They could be twins. But now, obviously, the 25-year-old woman that I met then is now 45. So I've got the same modern day version at the same age as it was 25 years ago. So I was lucky. What am I going to talk about now? The energies going forward. It's, what can I say? This month is going to be tough. There's lots of things happening. There's lots of positive energies around. But we are going to still have to deal with our ego. We are still going to have to put everything that we've learned into practice, building this template, building this strong foundation, because where we are grounded so firmly now, and we've gained our own power, and we've gained our own personality, our new commitment to ourselves and to our direction. And I suppose many of us have been put in this situation before, and I'm sure many of us have had awakenings before, but we've decided to go left instead of straight. because our situation was convenient. But I think what I see now, what I feel now, is that our situations are completely cleansed of the major elements that are needed to be cleansed. That our soul is purged all that it needs to purge for where we are today. Now we're practicing. Now we're practicing this new information, this new templates. And we are making conscious decisions with this 5D consciousness and thought process to go forward. And it is, I suppose it is like going back to teenage times when we really didn't know what we were doing and we were just making mistakes. We were fumbling. We're not going to be fumbling. We know who we are. We're more mature because we have this life experience, and we are going to make proper conscious decisions based upon this new information and not having to process all of this old and dark and childhood templates that we have had embedded in us, because we've moved them away. And one of the things that I think is important is, and I did touch on it in the documentary, is the easiest test that you can apply if you've had a bad experience, or you've been to a place where you've had a bad experience, or you've had contact with somebody that's been bad previously. Try and revisit it. If you try and revisit it, a place is easier because you don't have to deal with that person. A place is easier. So if you've got a not so nice memory of a place that you had something not nice happen to you previously, and you believe you've healed, go and visit it again. And remember the positive things of that place. And if there are no emotions inside you, there are no feelings of remorse or regret or anything, any dark thoughts, you can say that that's healed. And one of the things that I did earlier this year, and I'll share it with you because it does give this example. It portrays this example clearly. I remember in 2010, when I was married and with my children, we all went to Disneyland in Paris. And for me, it was a hell of a trip because I was the pram pusher. I didn't go on any rides. I went on one ride, and everyone else was having fun except Dean. So for 5 years, I carried that. I don't want to go to Disneyland again. I had a bad time there. And then, by some miracle, I found 3 DVDs of all of the pictures from that trip. So I looked through it and I go, they're all happy. Everyone was happy. Everyone was happy. Everyone was happy. There was no pictures of me. So I rewrote the memory that it was a good time, and everyone was smiling. And you disassociate what you felt and replace it to your new thought. And that thought is, everyone had fun. Everyone had a great time, including me. Okay, there's some more question. I'm going to come back to that one, Isabel, very shortly. And have a mission. What is the mission about? I understand that it's service to humanity. Tell us how and when you realize what is yours. Okay, the mission. The mission is, in my humble opinion, is about delivering the message of love, peace and harmony. Is to educate on a new way of life without the need of relying on the news, for example. Because the news is the biggest manipulator. Because it's right behind you is not any spirits or anything, it's television in the background still playing. The news that you see is what they want you to see. Now, how do you know this happened? Were you there? Were you there when it panned out? So how does this news affect you? as a person, as one microdot on this planet, how does this affect you? You can affect those people living around you by sharing love, by not being influenced by this stuff, by not being influenced by what society says you should do. Yes, we should pay taxes if we must. Yes, we should abide by the law because it's there. But everything else we can do ourselves. If you go to work and you're an employee, you abide by the company rules. But are you really happy? When I discovered my mission, I suppose is coming back to this town and now living in this town for the third time in 15 years, is trying to help the community here. But I know that I can't help the community here. But what I can do is help the community outside of here by what I'm doing. What this place has given me is the time, the space, and the energy to heal myself, because I'm surrounded by nature. It's a very, very small town. I'm living alone with my daughter, and I'm living next door to the River Danube. So I'm very, very grounded. I'm left alone to do what I need to do, and I have invested that time into me. So yes, I have friends here, and as I'm healing, I'm realizing what I'm learning. As I'm healing, I can share with others. So my mission is about teaching and sharing this knowledge and wisdom to show that there is a different way to live life. It doesn't matter what the gurus say, the spiritual gurus say, or the other gurus, twin flame gurus say. It doesn't really matter what they say. The idea is to find a new way to live. And irrespective of our soul connections or irrespective of our status in the soul world, it's about us living a beautiful life with love. And if we can take ourselves to a place of that, being at one, in love with ourselves, then we can share that. And believe me, around my house, I mean, my next door neighbor is a single mum. She's got twins. Everyone looks in this house when they go past. My neighbor is a great guy. He's 55 years old, and we talk in local lingo. Everyone knows who I am because I'm one of 10 foreigners that live in this town, and I'm the only English guy. But everyone knows me from the past because I've been living in and out of this town for 15 years. But everyone can see the difference in me, not only since my ex-wife left this town, but since I've come back this year. And my mission is to teach and to share. I think the documentary is a prerequisite for so many different things. I've tried so many things this year with regard to teaching. The documentary, as I believe I said, it was just evolved, it just came. I was talking to Carrie, and all of a sudden, we've got to make a movie. And we have enough information to make a movie. And the important part of that movie was to involve other people, and to involve other people as a collective, because there's not one person in the world that can change everything, but 6, 7, 8 people in a documentary can change, because that's 8 people's energy, and the impact is going to be far more profound than me sitting here talking to you guys, because there's 8 people's energy. My mission, I wish I could change the world. I wish I could change the way that communities live and work. I wish I could change the education system. And that's a complete change to where I was 18 months ago. Because now I see clearly, and this is the mission, you will begin to see it clearly. You will begin to see, you will be drawn to something, a passion, a belief, something inside. And I've always been good. I've always been told I should teach, I should lecture, I should be a motivator, not a CEO. Being a CEO is a pain in the ass. When I had my own businesses, I wasn't in my office. I was in jeans and t-shirts on the factory floor building things. So I'm very good at thinking outside of the box. I'm not very good at following that advice though. So I hope that answers your question in respect of service to humanity. it's certainly, and you know, you can quantify that. Quantify that. I have no problem standing up and talking to thousands of people. Some people may have an issue doing that, and that's fine. So you talk to your neighbors. You talk, and this is all it's about. It's interacting and showing people a different way of life. You know, you can have a holistic business. You can have, you can be a healer, and touching the lives of many people. And this is what we do. And it's not about being on a telephone and talking to hundreds of people every day. It's being open and honest and truthful and being your authentic self. And you will be drawn. You really will be drawn. You may make a few changes in what you do, but it gradually comes. And it gradually comes, you know, for me, co-creation with my twin has been there since I started to do the teaching. So this resonates with me, that it is the teaching and what she has learned and what she's been doing with her own self-development is art and creative writing. So what I do today and what she does today, there's a synergy. And other than the practical things that we can do together, the balance is there, the contrast is there. She has different skills to me and I have different skills to her, but there's a balance, there's a meld. So your mission will come. Don't worry about your mission. Worry about loving yourself. Love yourself first and your mission will come. Believe me, it will come to you. Yes, Teresa, there is a chance that it is a chance that there is a soulmate. There is a difference, and I also quantify this based upon my own personal experience, and because I was married to a soulmate who gave birth to 3 of my children, and was the mother to 5 children. I'm the father. She was, yes, it's complicated. I have 3 children with her. She had 2 children previously, so I was the father to 5 of her children, and still am today. After 18, 19 years. There's a difference between a soulmate connection, and I believe that this is about as best disqualification as I can give you. A soulmate connection will serve its purpose and you will be able to walk away from it. And you'll be able to walk away from it and never go back to it. Whereas a twin soul connection is that magnet. And that magnet is what draws you. It's the recognition of your soul, the other half of your soul. And as you deal with the psychology, and you know, psychologists, I've sat with psychologists during this journey. The psychologist can say to you, you're infatuated. It's an obsession. Okay? It's an obsession. It's an obsession with what? It's an infatuation with what? With another person. With somebody that you idolize. It's not, especially if you've gone through a whole lot of psychological, psychotrauma, psychoanalysis, transactional analysis. When you've gone through the process, the mill of psychological work, it dispels all of these thoughts of infatuation and obsession. So there is a field that is developing, which is spiritual psychology, and the spirituality and the psychological aspects are now merging together, because there is a recognition that there are soul connections, that there is an afterlife, that there are past life recurrences, and we are becoming more and more savvy because of technology today, because of the internet, because of the information that's out there. But we also need to be conscious of who's giving that information and their own life path. I mean, there's only one real person that I look to for past life information, and that's Dr. Brian Weiss. And what he says is very short, sweet, to the point, but very accurate and very precise. And I've never followed his work. I like what he says. I was doing past life regressions when I was 24 years old, because I was drawn to, because I needed to understand me. And I've seen a lot in my past lives. I carried on over that question there, Teresa. I hope I answered your feeling that someone is your twin. You know, now you know what twins are, and this is the dilemma that you find yourself in. I was fortunate or unfortunate, depends which way you look at it. I was fortunate, I believe, to only discover the terminology this year, to label it. But once you label it, you associate with it and you resonate with it. The idea is to wash away with the labels and really go into your soul, what your soul is saying to you. Ask for your guidance from your higher self. And don't forget, there are false twins out there. There are walk-ins. There are so many different terminologies out there that you get so confused. If you take away that terminology, if you clear your psyche of that terminology, you really are going to your true authentic self, and you know inside yourself if that person is your twin or not. You'll know through actions, through activities, especially if you're intimate, you will know. If you're intimate, you'll know. And that's one of the things that I do know with respect to twins and the intimacy. So I hope that answers your question, Teresa. Now, let's go back to this one with Isabel, because this is an interesting one. How do you manage in your sessions with your clients when they are in a relationship and you think the person they're in love with the twin flame, and you know they are not? You know, people, you tell them the truth. What's the point of lying? As a consultant, you have a moral obligation to yourself, predominantly. And you have a moral obligation to your client. Why would you mislead a client into believing that they are in a relationship with a twin when they're not? Yes, Teresa, I know she's your twin. You know and I know, Teresa, it's okay. So you have a moral obligation, Isabel, to protect yourself and your client, and this is bound inside us to honor that agreement. And there are, and I don't like to talk bad about other counselors or other, let's say, the Mickey Mouse show. There are those out there that will say whatever they want to keep taking your money. And this is the beauty of psychologists these days. A psychologist will sit there and go, see you next week, and take your $200, $300, $400. Because that's what the psychology business is about. It's about making money. It's not about helping people get better. It's not about treating people, or give them a pile of drugs and make money with the pharmaceutical companies. This whole concept of getting healthier can all be done internally. I'm not saying that we can cure all illnesses ourselves without any sort of form of medicine, but I'm pretty damn sure that we can. We can deal with 90% of it. And if we have a healthy mind and a healthy consciousness, we can overcome anything. We can move mountains, because love is so powerful. It all comes from in here. And if you're surrounded with beautiful, loving people, your energy fields are so intense that you can do crazy things. And you can manifest some crazy things. And people may say you're crazy, maybe talking about. I would have thought I was crazy a year ago talking like this, but I've seen it with my own eyes. I can sense it. I feel it with my clients. I've always had these strange senses and feelings of being able to pick up people's emotions, read their body languages, understand what they're thinking, to realize when they're bullshitting, basically. And there are a lot of, we say in English, Billy bullshitters in the spiritual community that are making money out of twins. And I'm fortunate that there's only one person that I spoke to, and I paid my money and I got the information, and I continued with my own journey, having extracted the information that I needed to help me. And I know that Kara's sitting here, and she'll be the one that says you need to do your homework. Energy healing, energy cleansing. You can go to an energy healer. You can have Reiki healing. You can have all of this wonderful energy stuff done. It doesn't fix the psyche. It can't fix the psyche because it's an organ that's been programmed and templated. We can remove all of the negative energy around us, yes. We can remove the negative energy from the brain. But it's only through processing and working on the psyche and understanding where you've come from, what you've done, where you've been, how you're going, that you can heal that. Because it's a physical thing, it's not an energy thing, it's a physical thing. And I'm sure somebody's going to jump up in a minute and say, Dean, you're talking out your ass, but I'm not. A psychic, a medium can tell you past, present, and future. And if you're sitting there talking to a psychic medium or tarot card reader and you're going blah, 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 they're just going to say, okay, you're giving me the answers and I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I see. And I'm going to tell you what I sense and feel. And if I don't believe, based upon a conversation, and I think anyone that's sitting in here today, if I don't believe that that person is a twin, I will tell them. Because I'm not in this for money. I'm in this to help. And if they have to deal with that reality, they have to deal with that reality. That's their issue to deal with, not mine. I can help them deal with the reality, but only on truth, on a truthful basis. And I know there are many people out there that just are quite happy to take your credit card number and keep coming back next week. Claim your own power, claim your own energy. And I know that there's a couple of you in here that I've helped on your journeys. And the work that you've done is profound. And the information, see, now that's got to my throat. The information that I've given you has helped you. And the information, the homework that you've done has helped you get to where you are today. And I know that, and you know that. And I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. And that's all I'm going to say about that. My dear sister, soul sister, Carrie, she's helped me. But I'm being her anchor. It's good being an anchor sometimes. It's not good being an anchor all the time, you know. And now we're all setting ourselves free. We're flying. And when I was walking along the River Danube on Monday, I was literally walking on sunshine. I was in such a buzz on life. And the energy that I feel now is pure. It's pure love. And I know that I will reunite with my twin. I don't really care if it's this lifetime or next lifetime. It'll be good this lifetime because there's plenty of things to do. And I know that most of you, if not all of you, will reunite with your twins. But you have to do the work. You have to do work on yourself. And it is all about you. And most of this work you can do yourselves. You just need the tools. Go to the right people, to the tools. How many of you are sitting in Facebook groups? I'm pretty sure some of you are still in Facebook groups. And it's all blah, 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 blah. And when you talk truth about what you know and what you understand, you just shut down. Because the ego behind it doesn't like what you say. But that's all good, what goes around. It's all karma. And what I do know is those, let's say, false prophets, those false teachers, their days are coming. Their days are coming. They will be exposed, or they will just simply drop off. And I know what I teach is my truth. It's my truth based upon my life experience and my journey, and what I hear from you guys. And I know what I hear from you guys is your truth, because there's no real monetary money. We're doing this for love, and we're helping each other from a position of love. As soon as you start to pay money, the rules change. I don't mean for counseling services, but you know, if you can't help someone, you should just tell them, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And I've done that a few times, and I've even refunded money, because I can't, if somebody doesn't resonate with me, I just have to. And this is something, a complete change. And I know many of you guys also feel the same about this, that we are now virtually cleansed. We're virtually pure. We realize what unconditional love is. We realize what true love is. And we realize that there is really not any room for romantic love. And there is a big difference between romantic love and unconditional love. And you can have relationships, I do believe, relationships with someone without a label. Any more questions? Come on guys, I've been talking for an hour. Any more? For any more? Or am I going to say good night? Shall I say good night? So it's now the 12th of November here. So the 11th of the 11th is gone. I had some interesting synchronicities this morning. I walked out my front door and saw 48 on a car registration number. So I got that slap in the face. And I know that there are many synchronicities happening around with other people, with their twins. As much as we try to forget or try to put it out of our minds, it just does keep coming back. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave this webinar. I'm going to leave Thank you, Teresa. Yes, the stuff is moving out. The stuff is really moving out. What I'm going to do is, I believe, I'm going to play the soundtrack from Isabella, from Diana. I'm going to play the soundtrack just to leave us all out. So guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I love you heaps. I'm sending you love and light and positive energy. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. So I'm going to play this debut. This is a debut. We had the pleasure of having this on the documentary. This is Isabel Aedo's debut track. Hope you enjoy it. Take care.
From the point of light within the mind of God, may light fill all our minds. May light descend on earth into the minds of all. From the point of love within the heart of God, and may love fill out our hearts, and may love return to earth, into the hearts of all, and may love return to earth. Om Namo of men. Expand the plan of love and light, and restore the plan on earth. On earth, restore the plan on earth. We are one with the universe. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of all. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, may love stream forth into the hearts of all. May love return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the wills of humanity, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, may the plan of love and light work out, and may all of us understand that we are one with Spirit. May light and love and power restore the plan on earth.